Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jake, this is Nadia, this is Buddy, this is Sedona, and Babu is sleeping downstairs, I'm pretty sure. And today we are talking about Scream 6. This time, Jason Takes Manhattan. I'm very curious. So we saw this alone in a big theater.
Last night.
You screamed quite a bit.
I don't remember that.
I think the fact that you screamed so much means that it was successful somewhat. But I want to know, what did you think of this movie? We actually have done another Scream video on the channel if you want to see our rankings of the previous films. But what did you think of Scream 6?
I would rate it 7 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I expected more of a Gale kind of storyline, and also I expected
I was
to be
expecting
more...
very little. I'm surprised they even brought her back because...
Well, okay, first of all, they didn't have Sydney, and then I didn't like that.
I don't think they needed Sydney because the story's been played out so much. My biggest problem with the Scream franchise is repetition and
Well,
sameness.
I just want, like, Sydney to die.
I think
and
Sydney's
Sydney was not there. No, I don't want a happy ending. This is Scream. Who gets a happy ending in a horror/comedy
She had
film?
a fine ending in Scream 3, you know, but they keep bringing them back.
Well, that's why they should just kill her.
And Scream, I mean, at the end of this review, I think we'll talk about maybe our ranking of the Scream franchise. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of Scream. I like the movies, but to me, like, besides the first one, which is fantastic, I think most people can agree on that. The whole franchise is stuck in just like this mid-level thing of not trying to do anything too different and trying to, but also just kind of like reining in the energies. And what I liked about this one is that for most of the movie, it felt like a little different. You know, we're in a new setting, you know.
We were actually like pretty surprised by the end. Well, we weren't too surprised. We predicted it at first, but then
I have a lot of complaints about that.
Well, we predicted it at first, and then or like, oh, wait, that can't be it. Maybe it's this. And then it turned out the ending was the original thing that we predicted. My
problem with the lesser Scream movies, I think the better Scream movies, you can kind of figure out like, oh, it makes sense that they were the killers. But for this one and for quite a few of the other ones, it feels like you're just like grasping at straws because the mystery isn't something you could really figure out on your own. It just feels like, oh yeah, these characters are the kill. It's just like, okay, like this, just giving us a bunch of information we weren't hinted at, or, you know, it's nothing you could really figure out. So it always just feels like out of nowhere. I will say this movie took some risks in some areas. I liked the dynamic for the most part, but I thought that the meta stuff was so played out. Like it just felt super weak. It felt like the same type of meta commentary they were doing in Scream 5 about like franchise stuff, and like the movie didn't even want to do it. It felt like they were like, this is a Scream movie. We have to have a group of characters commenting about the tropes of the genre. There's been so many meta, you know, self-commenting horror movies that are out now, that are new, that are fresh, that are exciting, that this type of Scream commentary that's done so in such a stale way where they're just standing around like in the first Scream movie. It was fresh when Scream did it in the 90s, but now it's just like, can we find another way to be like funny and comment on the genre, or not even do that? Like what I did like was I thought that there were some pretty good scary moments and some good kills. That's what I think.
I just wanted to see something like just like a little bit more twisted. Like, is that wrong for me?
No, I agree.
Like, I just feel like I wasn't satisfied at the end because I wanted
it to go
down.
Yeah, just
I want
really
them to go
hard.
Down to the freaking downtown.
That's what I mean about this franchise, is that they always play it safe, and it's always like a little too highbrow. Like just get some shit and to get your hands messy.
But it seemed like they weren't going to. There was a lot of hints in there where they didn't seem like they were going to play it safe, and I truly thought they weren't going to. I also think that this movie has a lot of like social media commentary. I think I find like a lot of late movies these days have that, which I think is justifiable because like the internet is a crazy place. I do think it has merit in what they're criticizing in a comedic way, because it's in every movie these days. It kind of feels like a little, I'm burning out on the same topic. It just kind of feels like celebrities venting, and they would be the ones more affected by it because they're the ones like always in tabloids or always in like, you know, always in some kind of news. So it just kind of feels like a consistent need to vent about the same thing over and over again.
It's all these movies. They just are commenting on the same thing over and over. Whereas Scream was interesting because it was doing something new.
But when you have something like a slasher films and, you know, Sixth slasher film in the same franchise, there is bound to be certain repetition, and there are challenges that come with that. You know, you can only make the movie so many times. That's why I think I wanted Courtney Cox's character to be there more, because I think I watch it for more nostalgia and more for the same thing, but it kind of felt like trying to step into both worlds, and that kind of turned me off. Trying to act like it was inventing something new when the ending proved it wasn't. It was acting like there's a nostalgic moment, but they weren't giving the characters many justice. Like, I felt like Courtney Cox was barely in there. And I feel like there's two types of audience, and correct me if I'm wrong, people, but one is they are watching these films for nostalgia. You understand that the stories are going to be repetitive because it's a slasher film. It's the same franchise, 6th movie. It's more for screaming and fun. But then you want to watch it because of this nostalgic characters, moments, emotions that you get from the whole experience. And then there's another one where it's like, okay, I've watched 5 of these films. I want a completely different character. I want like the ending to be unpredictable. But because the movie played it safe, we didn't get either or. And I think that it just wasn't bold enough, you know?
No.
So,
I mean, the thing that's, when you kind of look back and think about the Scream movies, you kind of think of specific scenes or moments that stand out. For this, it's like there's a couple of set pieces where I'm like, that's interesting, but mainly because it's like set in New York City. So there's some unique stuff you can do there. I don't think they played enough into it being in the city. But yeah, like you said, they just play it too safe. And honestly, the more I reflect on the movie, and especially think about the final act of the movie, it's so hard because there were moments that I genuinely loved, but also moments that were just so like Hollywood screenwriting bland, like.
well, I mean, yeah,
it's unfortunate, but it was definitely, I don't know, did you think it was better than Scream 5? Because I can barely remember Scream 5.
To be honest, they're blending all together for me.
Another thing is that I feel like are just way too convoluted at this point in terms of all the ways at the end of every movie, the killers have to somehow reroute back to the original Scream and be connected to the other killers in the 2nd and 3rd movie and the 4th movie and the 5th movie.
You want like a fresh new character.
And it's like all connected. And it's like,
yeah.
There's a lot of exposition going on where they're like, Hayden Panettiere is here as this FBI agent. It's like, I don't even remember the 4th one well. It wasn't that long ago we saw it. Like, I don't really care about any of that stuff.
Well, I mean, I think that that's very much similar to a lot of slasher films, like Michael Myers from Halloween. I think that's why they just started fresh. Well, no, because the last one, the killer was connected to Michael Myers.
No, but I'm saying in terms of Halloween 2018 reset the franchise. Like Halloween's been reset like 3 times.
It's more like an Avengers kind of like multi-universe versions of Halloween.
Scream hasn't gotten to that point yet. It's still on like this linear thing.
Multi-universe does not exist in the Scream universe.
We'll see. I mean,
yeah.
The thing is, they played that up into the last Scream movie, which wasn't even called Scream 5. It was just called Scream. They're clearly playing into the remakes, like the Halloween remake of 2018, and rebooting the franchises. But this one felt the same as that in a way. You know, trying to do the same things, cover the same bases in terms of the satire. Some kind of thread going on, like you said, with social media and Reddit, turning the victim into the villain. You know, it just wasn't super pointed or...
I think, like I said, I think it has merit in it. It's just played out in today's narrative.
I really enjoyed it. Like, I had a good time watching it. It was fun. We had a fun time. But the more I think about it, it's just like mist in my head. Like, there's really not much there that I need to think or, you know, it was just very...
You don't need to think. You just need to scream.
There you go. Do you want to get into spoilers?
Well, you haven't rated it yet.
Oh, I'd give it a 5 or 6. Maybe
so would you recommend
6.
it?
Yes.
I would too.
If you like Scream, yeah.
I think it's a good, like, wholesome film that if you want to scream, make sure you do it in your spouse's or significant other's ears.
It was fun. Oh, do you want to rank the Scream franchise? Can you even?
I don't know. I just think this one is probably
off the top of your head. Just give you your best shot.
Okay. Scream 1 is the first.
Scream 1. Okay.
3.
Okay.
I think 3.
I'm actually right on you with this one.
Okay.
My rankings too. Scream 3 is the Hollywood one.
Yeah. Okay. Scream 1, 3, 4, 4-2-5. No, 4-6-2-5.
Okay. So Scream 2 is your least favorite.
I think so because it didn't offer anything different from what I remember than Scream 1.
Okay. Scream 1.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about it now. Okay, yeah. Scream 1, Scream 2.
Oh, 2. Okay.
Scream 3.
Okay, or...
Just, slow drop off from the first one. Scream 6.
Okay.
Scream 5.
Okay.
Scream 4.
I think the last 3 were the same as me.
But it could be recency bias in terms of putting 6 above 5, because I don't remember 5 very well now. But there you go. All right. Shall we get into spoilers?
We shall.
Let us know your rankings in the comments. I'm curious.
Yes.
2,
3, 2, 1.
Spoilers! What did you think of the whole 3 killers, the cop and the kids?
Lame.
It was lame because...
I much preferred that Hayden's character would have actually turned out to be killer.
Yes.
What I really wanted was for the main character to turn out to be killer because it would have been something different. Like the victim actually for real turns into a killer. Because in the beginning of the film, she talks about how she liked killing. And at the end, she seems like she wants to kill. She wants to be a killer. And I kind of liked, I thought it'd be interesting if she kind of turned into like a Dexter type of person. Like where doesn't want to kill innocents, but then she like really likes wants to kill, so she searches for people that she thinks she's justified to kill.
Yeah. I mean,
I think the cop was the most predictable because when Hayden's character were like, you better watch your daughter, make sure she's safe, he like kind of like, it looks like he's not even like that concerned.
Whatever. The
only turning point was when they fake killed his daughter. That I was like, okay, maybe we were wrong about the cop being the killer because we both guessed it right there. Like, we think that the cop is the guy.
That's like a clear, I don't know. I feel like that's cheating. Just like you're trying to figure out in the movie who could the killer be. It's like, well, his daughter was killed, and it's just the movie just kind of lying to you a little bit. Just
well, it was a trap, but like, I mean, I guess that's the only reason that like we were.
And how did they fake her death? Like, how did they get through the coroner and the system and the hospital?
Well, I guess he just rigged it. I don't know.
This
is Scream. Is not
I
science.
know, but it's just it. I want a little bit more there. And the thing is, maybe the reason why I was so unsatisfied with it is because it did tie into the previous movie, Scream 5, which I just have such a wispy memory of. The whole justification, the killer explaining why he did it, it was one of the worst versions. Scream, I feel like that's always one of the downsides to all of the Scream movies is the final part of the movie when the killer just explains everything, and it always is just like, what the fuck? Like, okay, so now you're a killer? It's always so insane. This one especially was like, you killed my son, who was a killer, and it's like, you killed him, now I got my kids to become killers too. It was very silly.
It was, but it was aiming to be silly, which I can appreciate. I had high expectation in the beginning because, the person who actually killed the film students who end up becoming the killer, that's very similar to other films such as the Hollywood film, they get killed by another killer. So to me, right off, it started off as a statement like, this isn't going to be your typical Scream movie. But I like
that. I like the opening.
Yeah, but then the ending kind of ended up being the typical Scream film.
Well, yeah, because you think like, okay, the killer is killing these killers. I was really wondering if they were going to pull the twist and have Sam be actually the killer all along.
That's what I was hoping for.
That would have been pretty fun.
Or her sister.
Tara?
Yeah, because she barely blinks.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. I will say a couple standout set pieces were the ladder over the alley when they're trying to escape and the subway scenes on Halloween. Those were fun and scary. So there were definitely some like good set pieces. I feel like this one will be remembered fondly in the series. It seems like people are pretty positive on it, especially compared to some of the weaker films. But like you said, I feel like it would have been fun if they had like something that had to do more coherently with like, why is a Ghostface killer killing all of these Ghostface guys? All right, well, let's wrap this up. Yeah, let us know what you thought of Scream 6 and let us know what other movies you want us to check out soon. Thank you for watching. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.